We'll be starting here in a minute. I'm trying to get everybody in here, so give me a couple more minutes and then we'll start. Just give me about 2 more minutes, and let's make sure I've had an email from somebody still having trouble getting on. So give me about 2 more minutes, and then we'll start. All right, we'll go ahead and get started here. My name is Jason Whited. I'm an instructional technology consultant here in the College of Education at East Carolina University. Get rid of that. And we're here to talk about Google Forms and Sheets. So welcome to my online instruction session with this professional development session on this beautiful day. I know a lot of people would rather be outside, but those that are joining me, I appreciate it so much. So we're going to talk about intro to Google Forms and Sheets. But first, a little house business before we get started. Let me, if you have a question, you can ask me a question very easily. And all you need to do is go to the top right corner to the waffle, and you can click on the waffle and you get an option to do a question and answer. Once you click on it, you can then ask the question and I'll answer it. Just click on the Q&A and I'll answer it. And it's pretty simple just to type your question in. Okay, so now that we've got that, like I said, if you have any questions, just ask them at any time and I'll answer them. Now, I will apologize. There seems to be a little bit of a lag here. So I will come back to the topic if you ask a question and it takes a minute for me to get it. Okay, so why use Google Docs, anything else like this? Google Docs, Office, however you want to say this, is Google's Apps for Education's version of what we would call Microsoft Office. It has Google Docs, which is like Microsoft Word. It has Google Spreadsheets or Sheets, which is like Microsoft Excel. It has Google Slides, which is like presentations, but it also has Forms, which we're talking about, which is a survey function. But why use it? The biggest reason to use it is it's free. And a lot of K through 12 partners are using it these days because of that aspect. But the other big thing too is the collaboration. You can share a document with somebody else and they can either comment on it, just view it, or they can actually get in there and write it with you. I know a lot of faculty here around ECU are using it to collaborate with other professionals who might be across the country. And they'll create a document, write some content in there that can be edited by the others and shared, whether it be a document, whether it be a presentation or a spreadsheet where it might have some data in it. It's an easy way to share the data. I know that our data person here in the Office of Assessment and Accreditation and Instructional Technology has been using Google Sheets because she can send out the one link to the sheet and everybody can put their data in that, where in the past she'd have to send out a separate sheet to each person and then they would fill in their data and then she'd have to combine it all into one big spreadsheet, which was very time consuming. And this has enabled her to cut the time down and make it more efficient. Now, Microsoft Word can be changed over to Google Docs, just like Microsoft Excel can be changed over to Google Spreadsheets, and the same thing with PowerPoint into Slides. And this makes it really nice, and that's how you actually share. When you convert something from its original format of Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel to the current Google format, then it can be shared. You can't share a Microsoft document to somebody else and have them edit it. It has to be converted over to the Google format. But once you do that, they can share, and then you can turn around and export it out. And I'll show you that a little bit later on how to do that. But like I said, it's free, and that's another big thing. I have a neighbor who had to get a new laptop, but he didn't want to buy Microsoft Office package for his laptop, and it was mainly for his kids. And he said, hey, he came and asked me, he said, what about Open Office? Can I use that? And I said, no, let's look at this. And I showed it to him, and he loved it right away. He's adjunct faculty at a local community college, and he started using it and then soon realized that the two teens that are living with him, they were using it already. They had it uploaded because they're using it in school, and it's worked out great for them. So what are Google Forms? That's what we're here to talk about, the first part of it. Google Forms is a web-based survey application that's part of the Google Drive Office suite. Now, the nice thing about it is it's pretty intuitive. It's very easy to use. You can create it. It's got a wide range of questions. And then you just send it out, and you can also collaborate with somebody. So let's say you're trying to, a couple people are doing some research and you want to send out create a Google form, and you can each submit a couple of questions, look at it, edit them, and then go ahead and send it out and then collect the data. So it's a great way to collaborate amongst your peers. Let's go ahead and create one. It's really simple. I'm gonna go over here. Now, this is my Google Drive. Now, everything is housed in Google Drive. This is where you start off to get everything. It can be as simple as, I mean, this is where your documents are, and this is where your sheets are, and this is where your storage. Now, the nice thing about Google Drive is that anything that is a Google product, whether it be sheets, documents, or slides, does not take up any space or forms. If you have a PowerPoint up there, it'll take up space. If you look over here, close that out here, and you look over to these files, as my folders, but there is a PDF. It takes up 608 kilobytes. But if I go down here to my Barracuda, which is my kids' soccer team snack list, it takes up no space. So Google said, hey, if you're using our product, we're not going to take, you're not taking up any memory of it. Now, you get a lot of memory down here. You get like 15 gigs. And if you're in a school, you might get a lot more than that, might be unlimited, but it makes it really nice for this aspect that you don't have to worry about it. So if you have a lot of documents that you want to store up in there, and if it's, you can always convert it over to Microsoft Word, from Microsoft Word document to a Google document, a Google form of it, leave that there, then take that other Microsoft document and store it on your computer. You'd always have access to it. And that's the nice thing about Google, is you can access it from any device. It can be accessed from a desktop, laptop, iPad, iPhone, Android device. You can just be anywhere. And if you have the app downloaded or the program on your computer, you can go ahead and just look at it and you can make the changes. So you can use it here, or you can use it at home. You can use it at a library. And as long as you can get to an internet connection, you have it. That's the power of cloud computing that it offers. I work with a fireman here in the fire department a while back that's local here in Greenville, and I was working with one of the training officers, and he'd have to drive from Greenville to Raleigh once a week, maybe every other week. And once he started using Google Sheets and Google Documents, it made it much more efficient because he could work with everything offline. And once he got the internet, it uploaded. So he would drive up there. He'd have another fireman drive him up there, and he would get that, up and there and back, all kinds of paperwork taken care of. Made his time more efficient, usable. All right, so let's go to creating one. So new, over here at the new. Now, you click more. And as you can see, here's the basics, Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides. But for Forms, you got to drop down here and click on Forms. And there it is. It's that simple to start. Now you want to title it, you just go up here, click on there, and say, let's go afternoon test. Oh, test. And you can see it names it down there too. You put a description in there and everything. You see there's the questions and there's responses. So it's nice and easy that if you want to see responses to your questions, you click there. We've not got anything, so go ahead and do it. Now I did put a survey in your on the front sheet where you log in. So please fill that out, because we'll collect some of the data from that and we'll look at it when we get to the Sheets aspect of it. And we'll look at that quiz too in a little bit here. But it's real simple and real easy to use. Okay, let me switch over here. We've titled it, and it's easy. I showed you the easy responses. Now let's talk about our question formats. And it's the taskbar right here. And that's this little thing over here on the right. Now, this adds another question, so you can do that. And then you want to click on here, gives you the question types. Short answer, paragraph, multiple choice checkbox drop down, linear, multiple, kind of Likert scale, multiple choice grid, date and time. So it's really easy to use. So obviously we got here. Let's just do this one as a short answer. And we say what you want to collect is, what is your email? Here it is. Now I go up here and want to preview it. What is your email? And you can submit an answer. But we'll go back to this. Now, what's nice about this is that if I need to change it, I can say, what is your email? Real easy to edit and change. You don't have to go through. I know some of the other devices, some of the other software, it's a little difficult to change the question once you create it, but this makes it really easy. Now, you can go over here, make it required. And one of the things, though, especially if you're asking for an email, what you can do is you go down here and you can go ask for a data validation. You click on that, and you want to say that I want text that contains that symbol. Okay. This is what you'll see. Our question's done, and every one of these different questions has some sort of different data validation with it. But let's go over here and let's preview it now. what is your work email, that means it's required. And so when I start typing in, enter a valid, and as soon as I hit any @ it's gone. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't mistype your email and it won't be correct that way, but as long as it sees that @ symbol there, it's going to validate that in what you're collecting. So go ahead. Now you see this will submit another response. Not yet. Go ahead and close that. But it's real simple and easy. Now over here, you can see if you want to add in title, image, video, and add a section to it. And we'll get into that a little bit later, but it's real simple. You know, the thing about video is when you add a video to it, it's going to be, it has to be a YouTube video. Same thing with it, add an image. You can upload one or have one there for it. But it's nice though. So if you're asking a survey question, you say, who is this person? Show them a picture of a president or a place, and you can say, is this, you know, so and so, so and so. You can do that. Watch this video, answer this question, and then and you can do that. So let's go ahead and create another question, and this one we're going to do with multiple choice. Let's say is it's really fast. I can say another option. And see, it's got spell check on too, which I need. Give me 1 second here. I've got another person trying for the link. One-man show here. I apologize for that. Okay, send that out, and hopefully they'll join us here soon. So now there it is, and I can go make that required. And now the nice thing about here is what is my options down here? Now you can do this like it's go to a section based on an answer. So you can say, what's my multiple choices? It goes kind of when you do the section is like, remember the old books you used to have when you read into the page says, if you want to go through the door, go to page 20. If you want to go down the stairs, go to page 30. Go to page 30. At the end of that, you can say, go back to the door or go to the window. And that's kind of one of those treasure hunt items that you can say, go here, here, and here, and here, scavenger hunt. So it makes it really nice if you really want to play with it. And I think the one thing you need to know about this is play with this at any time. If you want to get to be proficient with this, play with it. That's the best thing you can do. So let's go ahead and preview this so we can see what it looks like. What is your work email? Let's go. There it goes. Validation kicked in. And let's go chocolate and submit. Like I said, there are a bunch of different questions, and I will title your question. I've done editing it. Did my advanced options. And let's go over here and let's pull up a recent one. Now, this is an example of one that actually I gave you the link to do, and I would please appreciate you do it because we take some of the data and see if there's any responses here to that. None, but please fill this survey out. It's in the front form. But as you can see here, I have the short answer, more of a long answer, pizza toppings, favorite Star Wars characters, which is your drop down. Then you go down here to your favorite music genre, which is a checks box, to kind of rate the weather today, to now more the Likert scale, and then a date and time. So I did an example. So you'll see this in, and I'll go ahead and we'll just do one real quick. So we have some data there, but please, the link is in the front part of the preview, and it just says, please fill out this survey for while you wait to collect data so we can demonstrate it. Okay, so what's my favorite Halloween costume? I saw Mary Poppins. My daughter's Mary Poppins, so cute. Favorite memory has to be College Hill when I first started, because you call it a hill, and I'm from Appalachia, and it's not a hill. That's not really a hill. Not what I'm used to. Repeats topping. I'm a mushroom guy. Favorite Star Wars characters has to be Chewbacca. Just I'm 6'4", big guy. Favorite music type. Let's go with some country, soft rock. Big '80s fan, and let's go other. And let's go with "Tis the Season." How to rate today? Weather today, great. I wish I was outside, but I'm here with you guys, and I'm glad to. Now, kind of rate these. Jar Jar Binks, worst movie character ever. I strongly agree. Breakfast for Dinner is awesome. I agree. Sharknado is a movie classic. Ooh, disagree. Put in today's date. This could be a date if you want to have another meeting. It doesn't have to be today's, and what time it is. Let's go here. It's going to be PM, and it is going to be 3. I'll submit it. It's submitted. So now let's go back over here, and we'll see our responses. Like I said, the survey is in the front page of where you can view it. So if you want to fill it out, because we're going to look at the data later, but I've got some other data we can look at and stuff. But as you see, now it gives you kind of a little pie chart of what you're doing. It breaks it all down into every different ways how you want to look at your data, and it's nice little images that you can do. Like I said, graph, bar graph, and everything like that. So different choices. So it's a great way to get a quick check on it, and we'll look at the data a little bit later when we delve into it after we go into Sheets. So we looked at that. Now let's look at changing the theme. And this is real easy. Here's our class example. Our afternoon test example. And you can go up here and you can change your theme. And it's pretty easy to do. You can change color, or you can say, you know what, I'm going to do an image, food and dining. And I'm like, oh, there's a steak. Oh, breakfast for dinner. We talked about it earlier. So boom. And there you go. It changes it in the background. And from there, you can go and say, hey, I want to change different colors. You can choose your own images, so you can kind of personalize your quiz. Now, you saw at the end of the quiz the confirmation page, and you can change that pretty easily too. So I'm going to go over here, and I want to go to my settings, and I want to say, okay, you can say can only submit one response, which they'll log on. You can then say submit another response, add the responses, see summary of the responses, show progress bar, shuffle question. So that means it would change it around. Let's go ahead and save it. So now let's go ahead and preview this again. Where's my work email? Again, the validation kicks in, like I said earlier, as soon as that @ hits there. So let's be changed, but now this time it says you 100% done. You've made it. Submit. And there's your response has been recorded. Now what I can do also is when I edit it, I can go here and say you are save. So then you can set, let's go ahead and preview it again. And what's work email again. Oh, see, it's telling you not valid because I didn't put in the @ Go chocolate, submit. You are awesome. So you could say, give your students a question and say, okay, at the end of it, when they take this quiz, you could say, hey, okay, now please read chapter 4 or something. So they can know what to do from there on. Now, if you've got any questions at any point, please feel free to ask me. You can email them to me too, as you know that I keep you on my email for some reason. If it's not working for you to use the question application within Google Hangouts on Air, but please feel free to ask me a question. I'll come back to it. All right, here. Okay, so now sharing, sending, and collaborating. This is probably, like I said earlier, the biggest part. It's real easy to share and send your quiz. So here's my quiz again, and I go up here and send. Now, I can email it to somebody. So if I have a specific group of people I want to email it to, I can share the link, which means if I have a big group, I can just copy the link in and paste it in there. And I like this aspect of it because I can shorten it right then and there. A lot of the other times you have to go through and find a different way to shorten it, but it shortens there really quickly. Or you have the option of embedding it. So if you have a Google Sites or you're using a web page, it gives you the HTML code you can embed into it. So if you create a page that you want your students to read a little bit, and then you can just embed the code into it and say, okay, once you read this, go to send them the link to the page there. They can answer the questions throughout. Makes it really nice. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. All right, so let's look at what our responses are for this so far. 4 responses, that's all me, but let's go back to this class example, see if you guys have done any. No, that's okay. What next? Now we're going to create a spreadsheet. We'll go to our afternoon test one that I just did since I have 4 responses to it. I'll close these out a little bit here. So we've got 4 responses now. They make it easier. They updated Google Forms and made it a whole lot easier to create your responses. You don't have to go through as many steps. It's very easy. Click on here. I can download it as a CVS. Now this is nice if you want to just download your responses and right away put them into a Microsoft Excel file. If that is what you're comfortable with or access, you can do that right away. It's real easy. Or if you want to use Sheets, you can go ahead and select here and say create a new spreadsheet, afternoon test responses. Or I can select an existing, and we'll do that in a little bit here. Go ahead and create. Now I'll go back over here to go to my recents. And look, there's afternoon test responses. Click that. That comes up. See, there's my questions. Now that we're in the sheets, I'm actually going to go over to my class example, and I'm going to go back here to my recents because I want to do class example responses. See if this one all my data in it. Nope. Here we go. So this is earlier that classroom example responses, and you see it has a little more data in it. Now, you're looking at it, you're like, okay, there's my data, but it's kind of messy. And one of the nice things about this is you can go up here, right here, and it's like a lot of options, just like Microsoft Excel. I can click here and say, you know what, I want to wrap my text. Oh, let me select it all and wrap my text. Now it opens up, and I make that a little bigger. It spreads it out a little better, and I can use it. I can move the columns over this way and do that. And again, the columns look just like it. So if I look at a column here, I can start one right, insert one left, delete it, hide it. So if I want to go over here and click this, I want to say I want to hide the column. It's gone, but now I can see it and look at it, and there. It's easy. Same thing with the rows. Click on it. I can insert one above, hide it, delete it, resize it, define it, and stuff like that. Basically, just like Excel. Okay, back over here. Drop text, sorting. So, sorting is just like, so if I want to click on here and I want to go ahead, I want to sort this A to Z. There we go. Darth Vader, Han Solo, A to Z. Or I can, and it sorts all of them. I can go up here to go to data. I can sort it that one place too. And it usually gives you different options to sort. So, and it usually gives you different options for everything. Again, you can use the column here, or you can go up to data up here and do it too. You also have the options to do some filtering if you want to create a new filter. and you can play around with that if you want to do that. And I suggest if you're an Excel user, come and play with this and get used to it. Do it. You can even do a pivot table if you want to from this data and select it. You know, add your fields to it, favorite Star Wars character, and go there to there. So I would highly recommend playing with this to get used to it. Filter. And when you want to filter, you can filter by cheese or olives with a pizza, just like that. Okay, now again, coming back to the sheets itself, it's really easy to just add a sheet to it. So let's go to our afternoon test down here. Oops. Your sheet and test responses. And if you want to, go down here to the bottom and just add a simple sheet. I can add a sheet and say, okay, and name it, rename to, there's another sheet. If I want to say this sheet has nothing on it, I want to hide the sheet or delete the sheet. It's gone. Real simple. I mean, again, it's so intuitive if you're used to Excel to come through and do it. And that's one thing Google's wanted to do, make sure that you guys can use it very easily. People can use it. Okay, analyzing data. This is a nice little thing that I like what they've done is, so I can sit here and let's go with our pizza toppings. From here, select it from here to there, and down the bottom right corner where it says explore. And again, it's giving you your tables. It's giving you your bar graph and your table of your different breakdown. But what's really nice about this is you can grab this and stick it right in there. And you can resize your chart, make it smaller, and go with it from there. You can edit mode and play around with it, but it makes it really nice to, you know, insert chart again. It's really nice. It's a nice way to insert and pull it in there. So if you're writing a report, you can put it in there. But it's just a neat little trick, and I really like it. I mean, I think that it offers that, you know, it's real quick. Hey, let me look at this. Insert if you're making a bar graph in real time. So add-ons. Add-ons are a nice little function that Google has allowed third-party vendors access to their software to put stuff into it. So if I'm looking at here and I'm doing add-ons, you can look at I've got some download Flubberoo, random number generator. So if I want to go over here, I'm going to go to my test 5 sheet, and I want to click right here, and I want to do from here to there. Let's go to B, from there to there. I want to add random number generator. I can start, and I want to say 1 to 10. Let's go 1 to 30, generate. And now it's filled between those numbers 1 to 30. So if you had students and you want to randomly assign numbers to them, all you got to do is put a column in there and you can assign numbers to them. And it's a nice little add-on, and they're really easy to get. You just go here again, get add-ons. You see all these third-party vendors. Most of them are free, but some cost some money. They might give you a 30-day free subscription. If you like it, then you can go ahead and pay for it. But that is up to you. And you have an option to say, okay, if it's educational productivity, social communication, so we said education, you know, Flubberoo is big, one Doctopus, you know, and there's a lot of tie-ins with other things with these. But I highly, like I said, go play with this and get to know and play with them and see what's out there. So sharing from the sheets, it's real easy to do, just like everything else. I go up here and I want to share this sheet. Anybody can edit. So all I need to do is copy this link, and then I can send it out in email, or I can email it out to specific people. And once I send it out to them, they can share it, they can have access to it, they can edit it, view it, whatever you want to do. So this is a great way to share data with a coworker. Maybe they're out of town or something, you pull some stuff. You can have your students share it in a project and they can do some stuff with it. But it's a great way to share, and that's one of the biggest advantages to using Google. So let's want to start over. So let's say you've created your survey, you've taken it for this week, and you want to start another one. So we'll go back here to our class example survey, and where we have the Actually, let's go back over to our morning one, our afternoon test. And so we have our responses. We have 4 responses. So now I can unlink it. But unlinking it means that what you send to that other form, that other sheet, will not be sent there anymore. So I can unlink it. Now, I have the option now that I have this data. If I want to select a response destination, I can create a new one. It's still the same 4 questions, or I can select an existing one, select it, and let's use that. And now if I go back to my class example survey, there's my 4 responses from 5. So there you go. Let's see today's date and time. So it's moved it there. Now, what I need to do though is, if I don't want to keep that data, I need to come up here and I need to delete our responses. Once I do that, then I have no more responses. Now the data is already in the sheet, so you're not losing the data or anything like that. You're just deleting them from here. So now any questions, I'll start collecting that new data. So then if I go up here and I preview it, and I go back to my quiz, I now have responses. And from here, if I wanted to say, okay, I want to select response, I could then, instead of creating a whole new spreadsheet, link it back to the same spreadsheet. It would just be a different tab on the spreadsheet, so I could keep them there. So an example would be, if you're learning something from your classes, after each class they do it, you unlink it, delete the responses if you wanted to do it that way, and then by the end of the day, you link it back to one sheet. So you have one sheet with periods 1 through 9 or whatever, and you have the different responses for them. So there's other ways to do it too. I mean, you could have them all in there and filter and stuff like this, so you can see when they say what period they are. But it's just a way to kind of keep the same survey and maybe different if you want to give it each different semester, each week, each month, and stuff like this, so that you can keep the data in different places. Now saving it. Now, like I said before, one of the nice things about Google Sheets and Drives here is that it can be converted over from a Microsoft Word, Excel, over to a Google form, and then back forth. So what I could do though is, let's take my afternoon survey. And if I want to download as, which is shared, I can do Microsoft Excel, Open Office, PDF. So if I just want to make a PDF of it for other people to see, and even CSV here. And once I do that and I save it, it's going to be that format, and I can then email it out or whatever I want to do. So it gives you that option to download it. Now, so let's say you have a Mac and you want to use Numbers, you'd have to download it from here as Microsoft Excel, then open it back up in Numbers. But there might be a little bit of some funkiness that goes on when you're converting it. Same thing happens, but it's very easy to do. Okay. Let's see, there's, I knew I had it. So here is an Excel. Show you what happens when I do it the other way. So when I open up an Excel form, it's going up here, Chrome extension, it's open up, and there is the registration. So now if I wanted to save as Google Sheets, you can see it's converting it, and then it saves as Google Sheets. And that's clear over here, and then I'm going to close that out. But it's real simple. So that's how you, and same thing with the Microsoft document, Microsoft Word document, anything like that, convert it over to Google. It's very easy. All right, any questions? Okay, I know I went kind of fast. I'm from the north and talk fast. Um, I will probably be doing another session more in depth on Google Sheets next semester, more looking more into the managing of the data and stuff like this. But this was just an overview of forms and sheets because they tie into each other and how they collaborate and how you get your data into your sheets. So I'm going to hang out here for a few more minutes. So if you've got any questions, you can email me at white@ecu.edu. But I would like you to do this form here at the end, and the link is also on the front page of this, the introduction page. And this is if you want to get CEUs for this. Go ahead and log in there and fill out the questionnaire. And some of it is like, yeah, what'd you think of the session? Suggestions for other topics you might want covered, different times. We here at ECU and the College of Education are trying to be flexible and say, okay, wait a minute. If I get 30 people that say, you know what, I'd like Tuesday night at 7 p.m., I will work with you to do it if that's the best time. Or we get an evening or something like that. We'll figure it out because we're here to help you guys. So go ahead. I'm going to hang out for about 15 more minutes. So go ahead and please feel free to ask any questions or send me any questions, and make sure you fill out those surveys. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of it. Since I've had no questions, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Have a good day now.